Well, the time has come. Percy is finally done. This episode, it was different. It was a roller coaster episode, not in the sense of emotion, in the sense of one moment the episode is very average, and then next moment the show is amazing. I will say though, episode 8, the last episode, was definitely the best episode out of the whole season, by far. I mean, I guess I could talk about it. I mean, let's talk about I think the first thing that happened, yeah, it was Percy versus Ares. And I'm gonna be honest, Percy versus Ares was, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. It went by way too fast. It went by way too fast, and if Ares felt weird, I know he's supposed to lose, but he was weak. I mean, you would think that this moment was hyped up throughout the whole season, throughout the trailers. This is the moment that the TV show promoted, and it went by, it felt like in a minute 30. I mean, that's my biggest issue with this moment is that, like, oh, Ares versus Percy, I'm hyped as fuck. Next you know, it's over in a minute 30 after they clash swords like 2 times, and then a wave comes. And I've always said this about Percy, that the best part about Percy Jackson is the dialogue. That's my favorite part about Percy Jackson, is the dialogue and the characters. And everything else seems so mediocre. It hurts. It's painfully how bad everything else is mediocre. And then you just got some of the best dialogue and characters, in my opinion. Like, the show knows how to build up a moment. It knows how to get characters attached to you. Like, every character in the show, I attach to. Like, I like all the characters in the show. Everything else is just like the action. Every time Percy pulls out his sword, you know nothing is about to happen. This episode felt rushed. Not the episode, but a lot of moments in this episode felt rushed. Ares versus Percy felt super rushed. I mean, it felt so rushed. You blink and the whole scene is over. I did not like that at all. I didn't like it. It was because especially Ares is one of my favorite characters in the show. His personality is amazing. And then you got this hype moment, and then you blink, and it's like, all right, we're done. Now I'm going to talk about Percy visiting Zeus. This moment was very weird to me. This moment was very weird to me because the biggest problem with Zeus, at least my first time seeing him, and Percy, I don't get the feeling they're powerful. Not at all. Not at all. The gods in this show don't give off the feeling that they're way above everybody. I mean, Zeus is okay. His voice is threatening, but like, just something. It's just a man in a suit, in my opinion. That's how I felt watching this scene. I didn't really get the feeling, oh, Zeus is the top god. I mean, the show tells you that Zeus is obviously the strongest god, but you don't feel that. You didn't even feel that from Hades or Poseidon. You don't feel that from nobody. Ares gave it off the most, but he barely did either. And this is another part of the episode where I said the dialogue in the show is amazing, but everything else is just mediocre. Zeus talking to Percy and then Poseidon coming, that scene was amazing. But where are the part that they're gods at? You know, you got the scene where Poseidon comes to stop Zeus, and then it's like, oh, okay, done. Another scene that felt like it was abruptly ended. That's another scene. It was just like, oh, we're finally seeing Zeus. He's on screen for a minute 30, and he's gone. Same thing with Poseidon. But I will say when Poseidon was on screen, it's much more entertaining than Zeus. And my second favorite part of the episode is definitely Poseidon talking to his son. This moment was top tier. The writing in this moment was top tier. Everything was top tier. You could tell he probably didn't want to talk to Percy, but at the same time, he felt like he needed to. This felt like a real representation of what would happen if someone never met their father, but knew they existed, and then finally meeting them. And they nailed it. I mean, I've been in this situation before. I know how it is. There's one thing I don't understand. Is Poseidon an asshole or not? Because usually gods are assholes. They don't care about people below them. But I don't know if this Poseidon's an asshole. I don't know if he wants to be a loving dad, but he can't because he's a god. Or maybe he just doesn't want to. Because, you know, Percy asks him, did you ever dream about mom? His dad doesn't respond and just sends him back to Earth. And you're like, maybe he's still an asshole at the end of the day. Or maybe he's just so hurt that he can't be with her that it hurts him to say it, and he just sends him back. We don't know, because they barely get screen time. I hope they get more if season 2 comes back. Now I'm going to fast forward to my favorite part of the show, Luke. Luke is a 10 out of 10 actor. Luke is a 10 out of 10 character. When this dude is on screen, he just fixes the whole show. I mean, everything Luke does in terms of acting is amazing. The words he says, the dialogue, his eyes, the way he moves, it feels like this dude is way above everybody in the show, that he throws it all off. He had the best part of the episode. And even with the knowledge, knowing Luke stole the lightning bolt, he feels like he is so manipulating to the point where it's like, damn, maybe Luke isn't that bad. I mean, he's far better than movie Luke, 10 times better. And I like what they did with this Luke. Luke is not evil in this show. At least that's the vibe they're giving off. Luke might be evil to Percy, but Percy isn't. I mean, Percy might be evil to Luke, but Luke isn't evil to Percy. He's not trying to be an evil guy. In his eyes, he's actually think he's doing the right thing. Versus movie Luke was just an asshole. Movie Luke was an asshole, a puppet basically. This Luke in the TV show doesn't feel like a puppet. He feels like he has a purpose that he wants to complete. And you can tell when Luke and Percy fought, you can tell Luke did not want to hurt Percy at all. You can tell Luke does not want to hurt Percy or anybody in the camp. You can tell his motives is actually good in his eyes. I mean, the scene where they're fighting and then Annabeth throws a sword at him, and you can see on Luke's face, this dude is hurt. Luke is hurt in this scene. This isn't a look of surprise or evil. Luke is hurt that Annabeth had to find out he was evil this way, because I don't know what his goal is. I don't know if it's different from the movie, but the way he's writing him, I fuck with Luke way heavy now. I mean, this Luke killed his job. You don't get the sense that this Luke in the TV show is an asshole. This Luke in the TV show, from my point of view, you get the feeling like, oh, let's just hear him out. Let's see what he's talking about, because that's how manipulating he is. That's how every word Luke says feels like it was thought out. Compared to like Percy, in my opinion. And it's weird because it feels like Percy, the actor, acts totally different than Luke, the actor. I don't know these actors' names, but the person who acts Luke's feels like he's like 10 classes above everyone in the show, probably other than Poseidon and the mom, which are my top 3 actors of the show. Everybody else feels like they're reading. Oh, and Annabeth. Annabeth is top tier too, but everybody else feels like they're reading from a script more than actually playing a character. I mean, Annabeth stopping Luke was definitely probably my favorite moment of the episode and this part. When Annabeth stopped Luke, the face that Luke made, I was kind of hurt for the nigga. I was kind of hurt for the guy. Like, oh, damn, Luke really hurt. This is a new side of Luke I didn't know existed. And people said movie Luke was terrible. Movie Luke compared to TV show Luke is like night and day. Movie Luke is completely trash now compared to the TV show. I'm not saying my opinion. He's completely trash now. But I will say and then after that, the TV show has a weird cut, which the TV show does a lot. I mean, you go from Luke being a bad guy to like happy moment, like almost instantly. It's like Luke runs away. Oh, okay, back to Cherry. I mean, and then the rest of the episode goes, Percy leaves camp. I guess this was over the summer. I didn't know that. I thought these kids lived here permanently, away from the world, so they could be safe. But I guess not. I guess Percy goes back to school for the 7th grade, which I didn't know that was logic. The movie didn't do that. I don't think they did. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap up my final thoughts. I will say, for people who think this show shouldn't come back, I'm gonna say I do want to see it. I want to see it succeed. I do think the show should come back. I do want a season 2. I want them to finish it out. I think they could do a good job if they get more budget and if they learn from their mistakes. Which the biggest mistake, in my opinion, is you got to do more action. The dialogue is already good. Lean more towards the fantasy side and that Percy can control water. The movie did an amazing job on that. That's one thing the movie did. It was super entertaining. It was just that the dialogue in the movie was pretty mediocre. And I really do hope Percy comes back for a season 2. And the best way to sum up Percy Jackson TV show is, it's not bad, but it didn't do enough to be amazing. It's only okay. And it's being hurt by its own self. It's not like it's stupid writing. It's just that it feels like they're limiting themselves by a budget. And that's what the last 2 episodes really felt like. The last 2 episodes really felt like, oh, this show is about to get very good. And then it ended. Because the first 6 episodes felt like they were leading up way too long to something amazing. 7 and 8, excellent. And then it's gone. But for people saying Percy is just completely bad, I don't see how you can watch 8 episodes of Percy Jackson and then come out with the notion that it's terrible. If you want to say it's not the best and it's not top tier, that's fine. But the biggest problem with Percy is that it suffers from success. I think everybody knows Percy and Percy, Harry Potter, Star Wars, and Lord of the Rings should all sit at the same table. So when Percy isn't sitting at that table, it hurts Percy fans a lot. And that's the thing. Percy can only be a 10 out of 10 show. If it's anything below it, people think it's trash. And I agree. I don't think it's trash, but I do believe that anything other than 10 out of 10 from Percy Jackson is unacceptable. It's one of the best pieces of fiction of all time, and people just want it done right. It should be at the same table with Harry Potter, and it hurts that it's not. But at the end of the day, I really do hope season 2 gets confirmed. I mean, the actors got attached to me, the characters are attached. I'm pretty invested now, and it would really hurt if it didn't get a season 2. It wouldn't, I mean, it would hurt. I don't think it would hurt because season 1 was so amazing. I think it would hurt because season 2 could be a 10 out of 10 show if they learn from their mistakes. If you took season 1 and just did did better than the parts you didn't do good, the show could easily be a 10 out of 10. If you just lean more towards the fantasy action, because season 1 felt more like a family drama than it did an action fantasy. And that's not bad, because I think you need both for Percy Jackson. You need the family drama, and then you need the action. But you only did the family drama part a 10 out of 10 without the action. Hey, but Percy Jackson, I'm going to miss you show, and hopefully you come back. But peace, I'm see you next video, and thank you.